Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Godzilla podcast. I had promised in my other video when I was doing the second review of the second viewing review of the Godzilla film that I was going to create a new video talking about some unanswered questions that I picked up on the second time I was watching the movie. So in this particular video, if anyone has any answers to these particular questions, please share them below. I'm especially asking anybody who's perhaps read the novel or maybe has read any of the scripts that are out there or even has any inside information, please share your thoughts on there as well, and that way we can hopefully get some more insight to the film. The first big unanswered question that the film had was, why exactly were the Mutos and the Godzillas such mortal enemies on there? It seemed like they hated each other on sight. I mean, you could not find a set of species that detested each other as much as the Mutos and the Godzillas. So, with regards to that, there was a tease or a secret spoilerific stuff that was released a couple of weeks before the film came out, where somebody, I guess, leaked the fact that the reason that the Mutos were basically going after Godzilla was because they wanted to use Godzilla as live bait, as something that they could use, that could plant their eggs in, and that way the eggs would feed off of Godzilla once born, and that's basically it. In other words, it follows what happens in real life in the world out there with some animals, like some wasps and some spiders that lay their eggs inside other animals, and then those eggs hatch and they kill the animal, and they basically grow out of the animal itself. But that was not really hinted at within the film, short of the discovery of those fossilized eggs. Those two eggs, one of course that went on to become the actual flying Muto, and then the other one that became the female Muto, that were found within the fossilized bones. So, also that made me wonder, how long were those bones within that cave before it was discovered? I mean, if we're talking, I think Kane's character said, a long time ago, but that was about it. If these are the same Mutos and the same Godzillas that lived within the Jurassic period, the whatever type period, a long time, when, as they said in the film, when the Earth had a lot more radiation around it, then were those eggs essentially there millions of years? I mean, if anyone knows, please post them, because I cannot think of any other animal that can live for millions of years as is and then still be alive at that point. So again, first unanswered question, why exactly were the Mutos and the Godzillas such mortal enemies? Was it because of that live bait thing? And then secondly, the discovery of those eggs within that fossilized set of bones, how old were they? Like, were they themselves millions of years old, or something far, far more recent? So, another unanswered question was with regards to Bryan Cranston's character. It made me wonder exactly what happened between him and his son after the disaster that was at the nuclear plant, because of course it cut directly from the boy, and then the scene cut forward as a boy to him now as an adult. But that was it. All we got afterward was the fact that his father was on a crazy mission to find out what happened with the death of his wife. But what happened to Ford himself? I mean, did his father abandon him completely, from a boy to teen years, or did they live together but still were distant with each other? Did Ford become essentially a ward of the state? Anything like that? If anyone knows any answers on that part, please share them below. And the other question I had was, there's a scene where Cranston's character is secretly talking to somebody. It was either over the phone or on the computer, and that's when Ford kind of sneaks up on him, and realizes that his father's still talking about his quote-unquote crazy mission to find out what happened to the death of his wife. Does anyone know who Cranston was talking to? Because afterward, the film made it seem like he was the only one that was on the hunt, on the trail of whatever it was with the nuclear power plant disaster and what's happening now. But then when he was secretly talking to this other person, that made it seem like there was somebody else that was working with him. So if anyone knows who that was, please share your thoughts below as well. The other unanswered question I had was, obviously the military's plan was to have a nuclear device of some sort to lure the monsters away from civilization and then simply detonate it when they're far away from it and kill all three monsters at the same time. So why exactly did the military bring this nuclear device to San Francisco first, fly it in there to then try to lure it away, to lure the monsters away from San Francisco? Why not simply have the device 100 miles away already? Don't bother bringing it to San Francisco, because by that point the monsters weren't there yet. Why not just simply have it 100 miles away? The Mutos would have since discovered it, whatever, on there. And then that way they would have had no chance of the device even being close to the San Francisco area. Because again, the female Muto ate one of those nuclear devices, but then the other one that was salvaged was flown into San Francisco. There was that prominent scene that was within all the trailers where it was purposefully flown to San Francisco and picked up there. Why not again simply fly it out the 100 miles to the sea? That would have made far, far more sense on there. Another question I had with the Mutos themselves was how many. It seemed like the Mutos, the female one, she burst out of that radioactive depository wasteland. How exactly is it that a 300-foot tall monster can remain undetected within, let's say, a depository of some sort? Because even then, that depository would have been manned at least some way, somehow, over the past couple of years that it took for that female Muto, to grow within the side of the mountain. I mean, she was so large that when she burst out, that gigantic hole nearly took up the entire area itself. So people worked there. People would have noticed. People would have heard a gigantic 300-foot tall monster making noises within the repository. If anything, with the growth of the female Muto growing from a small chrysalis to the size that she was now, that surely would have caused walls to cave or something to break, something like that, something that would have attracted more attention on that point. But again, the film didn't really highlight that. So if anyone has an answer to that, maybe the novel revealed that the repository was abandoned itself, and that's why it was grown to that level, that she was able to grow and notice to that level. Then that would make more sense on that part. Also, another unanswered question was, why exactly didn't anybody respond back whenever a missing Russian sub occurred within the film? That was, of course, the Flying Muto, who basically took one of the submarines from the Russians and then took it to Hawaii. Why exactly weren't, why didn't it become an all-out almost nuclear war between different nations at that point? Because one would have thought that the Russians would not have liked for one of their subs to go missing, and there would have been suspicions that it would have been something else other than a monster, because who's going to think that it was a 200-foot tall monster that stole a sub rather than something else happening on there? So anyways, if anyone has the answers to these questions, please share them below. If anyone's read the novel, read the screenplay, even read the Godzilla Awakening, the graphic novel itself, share them below. Thanks everybody. Take care. Bye.